Legal practitioners paid tributes to one of their own, former South African President Nelson Mandela, who passed on at the age of 95. On our interview segment, we talked to Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, about law, activism and human rights. Plus, Law Weekly wins an award of the Nigerian Bar Association, Badagry branch. Welcome to the program. I am Shola Sheyeli. In line with our usual tradition, let's quickly bring you up to speed with some of the top stories we tracked in the courts last week.
We begin with the report that the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has asked the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja to sack 5 of its governors who recently defected to the All Progressives Congress, APC. The governors are Alhaji Murtala Nyako of Adamawa, Rotimi Amechi of Rivers, Aliyu Wamako of Sokoto, Rabiu Kwankwaso of Kano, and Abdul Fattah Ahmed of Kwara State. In the suit, the ruling party argued that the governors should be sacked on the grounds that by their defection they had forfeited their offices. The PDP also wants the court to declare that the mandates of the defecting governors should revert to the deputy governors or the speakers of their state houses who are still members of the PDP. Staying with politics, the Federal High Court in Abuja last week Wednesday nullified the takeover of the functions of the Rivers State House of Assembly by the National Assembly. The court, presided over by Justice Ahmed Mohammed, made an order of injunction restraining the National Assembly from assuming the legislative functions of the State Assembly. The court equally ruled that the National Assembly had no powers to order the Inspector General of Police to redeploy the Commissioner of Police in Rivers State, Joseph Fumbo. 2 Rivers State indigenes had approached the court to challenge the decision of the National Assembly to take over the functions of the State Assembly after a clash between loyalists of Governor Rotimi Amechi and his opponents in the Assembly. Last week Friday, the Supreme Court set aside the conviction of a chieftain of the People's Democratic Party, Chief Olabode George, and 5 former directors of the Nigerian Ports Authority. The 6 men were tried, convicted and sentenced by a Lagos High Court on the 26th of October 2009 over offences bordering on abuse of office. In the suit challenging their conviction, which was also upheld by the Court of Appeal, the Supreme Court held that the allegation of contract splitting over which the accused persons were convicted had not become a criminal offence as at the time the alleged incident took place. The Apex Court therefore held that Bode George and his co-accused persons were wrongfully convicted and sentenced by the trial court. And we round off with the report that the High Court sitting in Abuja has discharged and acquitted a former minister in charge of the Federal Capital Territory, Malam Nasser El-Rufai, and 2 officials of the Abuja Geographic Information System who were arraigned for alleged abuse of office and corruption. El-Rufai was arraigned in 2008 and rearraigned in April 2011 by the EFCC alongside the 2 others for allegedly reallocating 2 plots of land previously allocated to the Power Holding Company of Nigeria and the Nigeria Postal Services to his family and associates. In his ruling, Justice Sadiq Umar held that the evidence provided by the prosecution was flawed and filled with material contradictions. He also held that all the ingredients of the alleged offences of conferring an undue advantage on his family and associates were not proved.
Welcome back. The death of former South African President Nelson Mandela continues to elicit reactions all over the world. Legal practitioners have also been paying tributes to a man who used law to champion human rights and democracy in his country.
Born on July the 18th, 1918, the young Mandela was the first of his father's family to receive any formal education. It was his school teacher, Miss Madinge, who gave him the English name Nelson. Nelson Mandela finished his junior certificate from Cambury, a Wesleyan missionary school, and went on to pursue higher education at the University of Fort Hare, South Africa's first university for Black Africans. It was here he met his lifelong friend and associate, Oliver Tambo. Both men were expelled from school in 1940 for political activism. In 1943, Nelson Mandela enrolled at the University of Witwatersrand Law Faculty. Mandela opened the first black law firm in South Africa in 1952 with his friend Oliver, and both men focused on representing everyday black South Africans owing to the apartheid laws.
I cherish the idea of a new South Africa.
After spending nearly a decade honing his lawyerly talents inside the confines of the courtroom, Mandela translated the core competences of the legal profession into the political project of helping to create a democratic South Africa. He put his life on the line for democracy, human rights and the rule of law, the highest values of the legal profession.
And just before we go, the Nigerian Bar Association Badagry Branch Lagos has held its 2013 Law Week, which focused on the theme Federalism and Democracy within Nigeria. The event attracted judges, senior advocates of Nigeria and other senior lawyers who were all interested in the very contemporary topic. The event was chaired by Mr. Austin Alege, while Mr. Dele Additional was the guest speaker.
Lawyers don't believe in docility. We have to continue to talk and judge until we bring out the best of system that will suit the nation.
The grand finale of the Badagry Branch Law Week was the Law Dinner, which held last week Friday. Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Mrs. Funke Adekoya, chaired the intimate dinner, which she humorously described as a fine blend of food for thought and thought for food. A senior lecturer at the Nigerian Law School, Mr. Nelson Ogboanya, delivered the dinner lecture to a crowd comprising national executive members of the bar, chairmen of other branches, lawyers, and some members of the immediate community of the Badagry branch. The high point of the evening was the presentation of merit awards to some senior lawyers and individuals who have contributed to the growth of the association and the legal profession. Among those recognized were Mr. MacDonald Omoleme, Mr. Hannibal Hector, High Chief Christopher Nwawere of Ojo Community, Mr. Steve Okoronko, Mr. Babatunde Mesawaku, and Channels Television's Law Weekly, which is designed to educate and analyze topical legal issues, amongst other things. That's the program this week. Don't forget that you can log on to youtube.com/channelsweb to catch any part of the program you may have missed. Also, feel free to send in questions and comments via email, Facebook, or Twitter. I'm Shola Sheyeli. Thank you for watching.